All right, Larry Krueger here at Levi's on a Friday for the Pig in a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er update. And of course, check out Pig in a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out, and they do run out. So get there early, go say hi to Damon, go say hi to Mary, get some brisket chili, some pulled pork. Tell them that Krug sent you. I'm loving Pig in a Pickle. And of course, this video is also brought to you by Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles, 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, along the Monterey Peninsula. Call my good friend Anthony Catania. He's at 831-521-5264. All right, the 49ers fly tomorrow to Los Angeles, where Sunday in Week 3 they will take on the Rams, their divisional opponent in the 3rd game of the season. The Rams are 0-2 and are desperate. They just gave up 41 to the Cardinals. And they're wounded and they're beat up. The Niners, of course, are 1-1, but this is a divisional game, and I think we all know enough about football at this point to know that you can throw out the records and in these divisional matchups. These teams know each other incredibly well, and it's almost guaranteed to be a very difficult game for the 49ers, regardless of what the Rams may look like on paper. All right, let's get into some of the particulars from today. John Lynch started the morning off by going on the KMBR morning show with Marcus and Carrie, and I thought it was a really good conversation. Go to KMBR.com. You can listen to it all. But here was the meat and potatoes of it. Talanoa Hufanga is going to return on Sunday. He's battling an ACL injury from last year. He's trying to get back. And he, according to John, and John knows an awful lot about safety play, he says Huff's a great communicator. And the Niners have had busts on the back end. I would say 3 or 4 in Week 2 alone. So I think that's where Hufanga really helps this team, because he's a great communicator, as John said. He knows where to be. He does tons of film study. It's like having a coach on the field. I think he will bring quite a bit to the secondary. And I think they'll communicate better. I think, the one thing about Hufanga, there are bigger guys, there are faster guys, but he plays on time. Kind of the way we talk about how Brock Purdy plays on time. Well, Hufanga plays on time as a defender. He knows where he's supposed to be, when he's supposed to be there, and he shows up on time. It's hard to describe, but if you watch film, you can see it over and over and over again. This guy will attack the mesh point in the run game. He will show up at the ball carrier. Usually when he's in the game, the front and the rush, or the rush and the rush plan up front and the coverage on the back end matches up. So he's a veteran, and it's good to see him back. So I'm eager to see what Talanoa can contribute on Sunday. Also, Lynch was asked about, CMC and Debo and Kittle and these guys. They're all out. Kittle technically is doubtful, but Debo and CMC are out. And he said, hey, look, we got a great roster. We got great roster depth. So expect to see Eric Saubert. I talked to Mason Pline in the locker room just a couple minutes ago. He's not going to be called off the practice squad. It's going to be Braden Willis. So Braden Willis is going to get the call tomorrow. He'll be one of 2 guys that will be activated off the practice squad, probably one defensive player as well. But Braden Willis will be activated. So, whether it's Willis or Tongas or Saubert, the Niners tight ends without Kittle are going to have to step up. With no Debo, Ayuk needs to step up, but so does Ronnie Bell and Chris Conley, and we'll see tomorrow Jacob Cowing. I talked to Cowing in the locker room. He's really eager for a bigger role, and I asked Shanahan about it. He thinks he may see one. Lynch kind of referenced that as well to Marcus and Carrie this morning, that he kind of hinted that Jacob Cowing could be a factor on Sunday, not just as a punt returner, maybe from scrimmage. And then the other guy is Terrace Marshall. Is Terrace Marshall getting called off the practice squad? Will he be activated for Sunday? I mean, he's a veteran. He's definitely got good size and speed. That's something to watch. And then, of course, at running back, with no CMC, it's going to be a big J.P. Mason day, but of course you're also going to see, Taylor and Garendo. How much of either, it's hard to say. Will they call Keyshawn Vaughn off the practice squad? They could. Vaughn is much more of a veteran back, much more experienced than Garendo. Taylor's a veteran as well, so we'll see. They've got some options at running back, but all those guys are going to have to step up internally. Also, Lynch said a couple other things. He also talked about how he was scouting at TCU last week because his daughter goes to TCU, and it was it was like a family day out in TCU. But Savion Williams, the 6'5" wide receiver for them, Abe Kamara, the fantastic 6'1" corner for TCU, Nana Asafo Mensah, the edge rusher, the Notre Dame transfer, he's at TCU. So those are some of the guys that Lynch could have been looking at last week at TCU. Talk coming out of the Rams camp is that the Rams, with Puka Nacua out and Cooper Kupp listed as doubtful and he's not expected to play, that you may see the Rams put Blake Corum in the backfield, their backup running back, and take Kyren Williams and flex him out. Now, Williams has had a slow start as a runner this year. He's averaging about 2.5 yards a carry, but he's a great receiver. He was a Pro Bowler. They're looking for weapons anywhere they can find them, so I would expect to see that quite a bit. Expect to see Blake Corum in the backfield and Kyren Williams out of the slot. I think you're going to see that quite a bit in this game. Otherwise, it's Demarcus Robinson, it's Tyler Johnson, it's guys that don't really have the same kind of talent. It's a major step down, losing Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. As far as the Niner injuries, Nick Bosa's got the rib injury. I think he's going to go. Mooney Ward with the hamstring and the knee did practice today on Friday. And so did Bosa. George Kittle's got a hamstring. He did not practice on Friday. If I was guessing, I would guess that Mooney goes, Bosa goes, and Kittle doesn't. That would be my guess. One interesting stat is that there have been more passes in the NFL. This is not a Niner stat or a Ram stat. This is just a general NFL stat. I saw this week. There have been more passes behind the line of scrimmage, at or behind the line of scrimmage in the first 2 weeks of this season than ever before since they began tracking this in 2006. It's the highest percentage of throws at or behind the line of scrimmage. You're seeing teams do a lot of stuff right at the line or behind the line. 24% of NFL passes in the first 2 weeks of the season thus far have been at or behind the line of scrimmage. Kind of a new trend that we're starting to see more and more of. The Niners, by the way, on Sunday will be wearing their red home jerseys and their gold pants, their typical home uniform. They'll wear it in LA, which is appropriate because I think 75% of the fans, according to the estimates, are going to be wearing Niner colors and rooting for the 49ers as well. The Rams, though, as the home team, get to choose what color they wear, and they're going to wear their home whites. So the Niners wear red at home. The Rams wear their whites at home. So that means that when the Niners and the Rams play, the Niners will be in the red. So Niners in red, Rams in white coming up this Sunday. And Jake Brendel, the stats, I asked Chris Forster about Jake Brendel, and I don't want to pick on Brendel. I like Brendel. I think Brendel's a good guy. And Forster said, hey, there's like 6 or 7 things that Brendel does that makes him the best choice for us at center. And I believe him. I believe Forster when he says that. But the reality is that Jake Brendel has the lowest pass blocking PFF grade, 29.5. He's last. And among guards, he was the 34th ranked guard in the NFL, or 34th ranked center, I should say, in the NFL. It's only 32 teams, so that's obviously not good. Hopefully the Niners' offensive line can bounce back in this game. The absolute must, if you look at the Rams, you say, what's scary about the Rams? Jared Verse and Byron Young. Verse is a rookie defensive end out of Florida State. He's 6'4", 260, and he plays the run exceptionally well. And then you've got Byron Young, who had 8 sacks last year. Now he's in his second year out of Tennessee. 6'2", 260, comes flying off the edge, very strong, very fast. So Colton McKivitz and Trent Williams will be tested significantly in this game. All right, that's going to do it for our update. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles for sponsoring this video. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube. Have a great day.